Hey everyone, it's technology expert Burton Kelso here with another tech tip to help you get the most out of the technology in your life. Today we're talking about T-Moble and Verizon 5G home service. Should you get it or should you not get it? Now, I'm just going to cut to the point here and help you understand that both T-Mobile and Verizon 5G are really geared towards people in rural areas who don't have access to fiber. Now, the story is with rural areas, most communities still are using the old copper wire that you would use for phone networks. That's why companies like Brightspeed and other rural internet services are slower than what you can get with even cellular or even fiber. But hands down, your fiber or even your cable connection in your neighborhood is going to surpass and be more reliable than a Verizon or a T-Mobile 5G hotspot. Now, with Verizon does offer a little bit higher speeds than T-Mobile, but Verizon doesn't have the rural coverage that T-Mobile has. So people who are struggling with using old school not wired, but copper wired networks are going to benefit from using a T-Mobile. But again, Verizon does offer the higher speed. So if you're in a rural area, then Verizon may be a good fit for you. Now, obviously with their marketing campaign, meaning both Verizon and T-Mobile, many people are starting to switch from traditional cable or fiber services to a 5G wired network. But there's some shortcomings when it comes to switching to those networks. So number one, again, nothing is going to beat your fiber connection, which you can get from Comcast or Xfinity, Spectrum, Google Fiber, and other providers across the country. So if you are a residential user in an urban area and you need internet and you need it fast, especially if you're a work from home person, you need to stick with your cable-based internet companies. Nothing is going to trump that. Although I will say a Verizon hotspot has come in handy from a time or two where hotel Wi-Fi is really, let's just say it, really sucks. So I've had to do many TV interviews using Verizon Wi-Fi on a wireless hotspot from my smartphone, and it works great. But those of you that have home offices or small businesses, don't you even think about using a T-Mobile or Verizon 5G hotspot. The appeal is the price, and I'll show you by letting you look at T-Mobile and Verizon's websites. So let's get there. We're at T-Mobile's website, and here is the deal. Limited time offer, $200 cash back if you go with T-Mobile. And of course, according to them, it's how you internet. You can call now, and it's true for many of these services, since they are cellular, you can go from hooking it up to getting on 5G in a short amount of time. No need to hook up with an existing cable. It's essentially a hotspot. Now, if we look at Verizon, and I'm going to switch here, same thing. Of course, they want me to get a Nintendo Switch or a $200 gift card. I'm going to close that. But then you can check your availability. Price guarantee for 5 years. 500 credit to help you switch. No data caps and no annual. And then home Wi-Fi. They are even offering Wi-Fi extenders so you can have the fastest internet available in every house. And of course, you can get and check availability with these services. But some of the things that you have to look at before you start switching to these services are several things. Number one, Remember that T-Mobile and Verizon are Wi-Fi hotspots, which are designed for smaller families that don't have a lot of items to connect to. You can't think for $50 a month or sometimes even less that you're going to be able to connect your smart home to a Verizon or T-Mobile 5G hotspot. At the most, you're going to get at least 10 devices connected to these hotspots. And devices meaning your Ring doorbell, your wireless printer, your laptops, kids' video devices. If you connect all of those together, you're probably not going to have enough bandwidth or enough service to get the most out of those wireless devices. So if you're a small family and you're on a budget and you want to utilize Verizon or T-Mobile, then the service may be for you. But again, remember, you're not going to get those robust speeds that you would get with your cable internet service. Now, an advantage of having a Wi-Fi hotspot from T-Mobile or Verizon, let's say you're on the go. You travel quite a bit across the country and you want to ensure that you have good Wi-Fi wherever you go. Then a solid plan with 5G may be worth it for you, especially if you're planning on traveling with the family this summer and you may be quote unquote off the grid. It's a good service to get for those situations because remember, in a lot of areas there is no fiber, and so a hotspot from T-Mobile or Verizon may be a good fit for you. Now, another downside, if you have, and I think I said this, a lot of devices, it's not going to work. And one of the things that you have to consider is, do you have solid cellular in your area? So for example, if you're in an area where your Verizon hotspot or your Verizon smartphone gets good signal, then the hotspot would be a good fit for you. Same thing with T-Mobile. If you're in an area where you have good cellular service, then it would be a good fit for you. However, if you are struggling with cellular service in your area, there's no point of getting a Verizon or a T-Mobile hotspot. Some areas, believe it or not, in urban areas, get wonky signals from T-Mobile and Verizon, and some people have to get a Wi-Fi or cellular booster in their home in order to use their smartphones. If this is you, then you want to avoid Verizon and T-Mobile. One of the other things that you should consider when looking at this service is don't focus on price only. Your landlines are expensive, so to speak, because of the maintenance that's required on cables that are buried in your ground. Burying fiber ain't cheap, so you are going to expect to pay a little more for ground service as opposed to cellular. Also, keep in mind with your cable connection versus your cellular connection that you, and what is the best way to put this, that you need to not necessarily worry about the fact that you are getting shoddy customer service versus another. If you want to know the average internet price, you're looking between $70 to $100 a month for good high-speed internet. The fact that these companies are trying to get you to switch because of the lower price, you should pause and think a second if it's going to really work for you. But when you're considering switching services, there's a couple of websites that you need to go to make sure that you are making the right decision. So one of the first ones is speedtest.net, and we're going to go there and give you an idea of what internet speeds you should be getting. Now, if I switch my desktop to my desktop screen, ton of ads, unfortunately, at speed test, so just ignore them and focus on the go button. As you can see, Google Fiber, my IP address, which will change shortly, and we're going to click on Go. Once we click on Go, speed test is going to give me the speeds that I want. Now, everyone watching this video is probably saying, well, why aren't you getting higher speeds with Google? If you're getting between 80 and 100 download speed, and it's going to stop here in a few seconds, to an upload speed of about 40 to 50 megabits per second, you should be pretty good as far as your internet speed is concerned. If anything higher than that, obviously is gravy, but for streaming with Zoom and other services that require high bandwidth, that's the speed that you want. But obviously with Google Fiber, you can get higher speeds, and if I were to run a network cable or bring the Google router closer to me, I would experience higher speeds. Also, if you are struggling with the internet, you probably don't want to just jump onto one of these deals. There's a website that you can go to called High Speed Internet, I spelled it wrong, .net. Let me type this in here, and let's see if we can get to the website. We're there. Let's switch screens. So what you can do for high-speed internet is to put in your zip code. I'll put one that doesn't really match where I am geographically. But as you can see, there are the plans that are near me, both business and residential, and also mobile, if you were looking up the best mobile service. But what you want to do with high-speed internet is ignore the ad that's at the top and look at the actual plans that have the number on it, letting you know how fast the internet's here. Now, probably one of the most robust services that's on here that you can't always rely on is Xfinity. Now, Xfinity's good, but one of the things I want you to pay attention to is Xfinity in the Blue Springs, Missouri area has a little bit more of a rating than the top tiered one, which is AT&T. See your user rating of 1603 versus a user rating of 1916 with Xfinity lets you know that this service is probably the best one. Once you look at that site, you can view plans and decide if a better land option is available, or you need to go with either T-Moble or Verizon. But again, to state the point, T-Moble and Verizon 5G Wi-Fi are geared specifically for rural areas of people that don't have a lot of devices connected in their home. If you are what I would call an internet power user, then you need to stick with your traditional internet services such as AT&T, Comcast, Spectrum, and a few others listed out there. So with that said, if you've got any comments or questions about your high-speed internet, leave them in the comments section below. We'd love to talk with you and help you discover what's going to be the best internet service available for you. With every video, please comment, like, and share, because I know that you know someone out there who is struggling with the technology in their life. Now, my goal with every video is to make sure that you are opened up to a whole new world of ideas and experiences. I love technology. I've read all the manuals, and I'm serious about making technology fun, safe, and easy to use for everyone. So, thanks for watching this video. I don't think that's what I always say, but thanks for watching this video. And take care of yourself and do many things to make you smile.